Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Just brushing up on some of my favorite literary classics. Even if a page turner like this isn't up your alley, did you know our libraries offer so much more than classic books? There's also things like passes to local museums. You can download ebooks onto your Kindle device. And super cool things like a team gaming program. Visit your local library and see all it has to offer.
Wednesday.
All day long.
All right. And this is Qiana.
And this is the Intellectual Gangster, your brother Donnie.
And this is the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, brought to you by the New Image Project, better known as
See That.
And we are redefining
what's cool.
Yes.
Because smart.
It's the new
gangster.
Yeah.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Let's go around the world and say it. Q, what you say in the morning in the United States, we say what? Good morning, right?
Good morning.
Good morning. And
bonjour.
Bonjour. Was it buenos dias, buongiorno, buongiorno, ni hao, ohio, jambo, habargani, sabah khair, sabah nur for the people who say sabah khair, ahlan wa sahlan. Come on, Q. Let's put it
all
around
of those. All of those.
Saka passe.
Oh, you good morning.
Good morning. What's up?
What's up?
What's happening?
How your day going?
You got some people, they don't like for you to talk to them in the morning.
They just nod their head.
Wave. Good morning. That's not it.
Good morning, Michelle.
But we up bright and early.
And thank y'all for taking this ride with us.
Yes. And it's the best ride in the land.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Qiana's driving. That's why it's the best ride in the land.
I think we're all in this car together. You know what I mean?
But you on the switches. If we hear hydraulics, it's because you on the switches. That's what it is.
So what's going on? What's on your mind this Wednesday?
Ooh, so much on my mind this Wednesday. So much trouble with Bob Marley. Say so much trouble in the world. So much trouble in the world, but it's also so much opportunity. POC. Kazim Ahmed used to say POC, problem, opportunity, and challenge. So we got a whole lot of problems, but we got to come out with some opportunities and some challenges. A little bit distressed because the National Report Card came out.
Okay.
And this is the B side of the National Report Card. The first part of the National Report Card came out in October.
Okay.
And that was for math and science.
Okay.
And it showed that American students, and it's taken from a baseline group of 8th graders.
Okay.
Showed that American students are, by and large, doing poorly.
In math and science?
Now, that was October.
Okay.
There was a new one that came out yesterday.
Okay.
And that was for history and civics.
And history is your thing?
History and civics is my thing. I taught them both. 14% of 8th graders passed the history and civics competency exam. 14% of 8th graders. And this is not a problem for 8th graders. You know
why? In my theory?
Go ahead.
Because they lie to you in history anyway, and so nobody don't want to listen to it. Like possible. You gotta, when you think about it, we was told so much stuff growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we're finding out that there's no truth to it. And
Mm-hmm.
then you're looking at here.
Governor's mansion.
Actually, the governor at this point does not have to tell where he travels to.
Mm-hmm. Which is history, right? I mean, that's giving your travel history. Right? So somebody understands the importance of history. You know, Dr. John Henrik Clarke, one of my inspirations, said that when he wanted to learn Black American history, African American history, at the time it was called Negro history, he went to Arthur Schomburg during Arthur Schomburg's lunch hour. And he busted into his office while he was trying to have his lunch. And he said, I want to know everything there is to know about African history right now, henceforth, and in the hour. And so Dr. Arthur Schomburg, being a very wise and astute and beautiful man from Loiza, Puerto Rico, said to him, son, what you're calling Negro history are the missing pages of world history. He said, study your conquerors. and see why they kept you out of the story. So it's interesting, the perspective that we take on history. The missing pages of history sometimes tell us everything there is to know about the story.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about civics, because we've been abused so much through history and abused through education, we tend to forget that they're going to use our apathy to pull the wool over our eyes. Because in civics, we talk about what? We talk about Article 2, Section 3 of the Section 2, Article 3 of the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Supreme Court.
Right.
Dun, dun, dun. And we look at things like, okay, well, what are the powers of the Supreme Court? And then that takes us to the Federalist Papers, and we're looking at the arguments that are held between the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists.
And then just think about that. Just when you hear court,
Go ahead.
When you hear court as a Black person, you cringe. It's something that you don't want to know more about. You want to stay away, because you look at a lot of our brothers and sisters have went to court and not came back home.
Mm-hmm.
The trauma that is placed on us. And when you look at it, and some stuff is done intentionally, a lot of stuff is.
Yeah, I'm on the court that everything is done intentionally.
I'm with you.
Somebody benefits from this thing in some way, shape, or form. So you're right. I mean, just the trauma that's associated with words, the trauma that's tied into definitions of things, causes us oftentimes to redirect ourselves from understanding them and just being okay with knowing them from a peripheral position. We don't know these things intimately, so we don't know. Excuse me. We don't understand judicial review.
Right.
We don't know the court's role in judicial review. Alexander Hamilton said the Supreme Court had to be impartial because it lacked neither purse nor sword. So what is the role of this? And then you wonder, and then you see John Roberts and you see Clarence Thomas and you see millions of dollars being funneled to organizations that speak before them, seeking a ruling from the Supreme Court. And you say, well, damn, do they really have a dump button? Do they really have a sword or a purse? Because it seems like they do. Especially if they're on the side of violent fascist organizations. If they constantly rule in favor of these things, then that's their sword. And if they're on the side of big business, then that's their purse. So are they impartial? But we won't know this if we don't study civics, and we won't study civics if we feel like it's already a subject in which we're defeated in because they've lied to us about Daniel Boone and David Crockett.
I mean, listen, the reality is that it's so sad that we're doing so poorly, right? But it's also so sad that I think this is intentional, because what did they used to say? Put it in a book if you want to hide it from somebody.
Yes.
And they say, put it in a book.
Yes.
Hidden in plain sight. But even when the books are lying at this point, and then are they doing so bad because now they're challenging the books? And so the answers that they're putting is not right per their text.
I think that should be investigated, Q.
I mean, this is just some things that's going through my mind.
But before the destruction came, we would pair people together. And we did it in Indigenous America. We did it in African societies as well.
Good morning, Qiana.
We would pair people together who had complementary gifts. So if you knew that we needed a new generation of drummers, then we would find a sister who could drum. And we would find a brother who could drum. And we understood that they had certain technical savvies that they were born with. These were talents. And we understood the process of making our future, creating our future from ourselves. So we would take individuals who could drum and individuals who could drum and bring those families together, and they would produce super drummers.
Right.
Right. We take people who could sing, and we take other people who could sing, and they would make super singers. Same with administration. We would take administrators and we would wed them with administrators, and they would produce our next generation of administrators. Now what we've done, and we're really good at it because we value entertainment so well,
Mm-hmm.
That we're really good at coupling entertainers with entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
And they produce children who are super entertainers.
Yes.
But we haven't yet put it together to place writers with writers. So we have people who come together and write super textbooks.
Mm-hmm.
You see, labor creates all value.
This is true.
And where you put your labor is where your value will be created. Have we put the labor as a culture into fixing our problems? Or have we put the labor as a culture into being recognized, loved, and celebrated by other individuals? How many times have we encouraged young men who are good writers to find young women who are good writers and start families? How many times?
I mean, honestly, when you look at it, do we really encourage anybody to connect that way? Even in the entertainment sector, I think it's something that just happened. It's not like, ooh, maybe, I don't know. Let me think about this.
What our audience think? I mean,
I don't know, audience. Let us know. It's What's on Your Mind Wednesday.
What's on your mind?
So yeah, we're thinking. I mean, you look at it like we be like, ooh, if you want a tall child, right? You take. I'm uber short, right?
In stature,
right? I'm uber short,
but tall in influence.
But I mean, honestly, let's keep it 100. And I tell people is that I'm taller than what I appear, right? I bottle up my height because I don't want to intimidate people. So you think that I'm 4'11", but in reality.
She's 6'3".
Yes, I am. But I just don't want to be intimidating. So I do this for the people. I bottle my height up for the people.
Well, thank you for spamming us, Q.
But, we look at it, we do, and other cultures sometimes do. You know what I mean? You see that. Or you will see somebody, or, tall, dark, and handsome is the thing, right? That most people want. Not all, because we don't subscribe to all. We don't subscribe to all, but a lot of people do want somebody tall, dark, and handsome. And so that's the first thing that they are attracted to, because you have to be physically attracted to somebody first, right? And then you find out, I realized, like, growing up, there was some things that was so important on this list of things that you want. Right. And then the older you get, you realize, oh, that don't matter.
Maturity definitely brings another perspective. When we're intentional about the relationships that we build, and when we're intentional about the produce of that relationship, then we will be intentional about our results. When you leave things to happenstance, oftentimes you want magic to replace logic. And how often do we see that occurring? We want magic. We want to magically do this. And we've been indoctrinated into Disney. We got baptized into Disney, most of us, before we could walk. And the idea was it was magic that happened.
Don't everybody wants magic?
No.
Don't everybody want... Y'all heard how my voice changed. Everybody wants the Prince Charming to come and sweep them away. Good morning, Sierra. Yes. But the reality is, and we've talked about this before, and I think even when you host she say the topic, the first question was, and we got it from here, is true love romantic?
Is true love romantic? Yes.
Right. And my answer was no.
Right.
Right. And some people can agree to disagree, and that's okay. I think true love have romance in it. But I think that true love is not romantic, because you get to see another side of the person that nobody else see. The good, the bad, the ugly, the truth, right? Because this is the person that you are building your foundation with. When you go home, you can be where you cannot be. You can be who you cannot be in the rest of the world. Right. So when you have your super cape on and you cannot be emotional and angry and all that everything else that you have to shield yourself or pretend that you're not, when you're out there in the world, when you come home, this you can be. And sometimes the person that stands next to you get the brunt of all of that, because you know that this person is not going anywhere, and that you can be your authentic self, good, bad, or ugly, with this person. So that's when I say true love is not romantic,
And
but it has
Q.
romance in it.
You know me, Q. You know I'm a listen. When you're a rhetorician and you tend to look at words. You think words have meaning, and I believe sincerely that true love is romantic. But I believe that romance, that the thing that we're defining as romance, is only anticipation. It's anticipating the needs or the wants or the desires of the individual that you choose to invest time, life, and energy with. That's all romance is. If you know that a person does not like flowers, let's say they're allergic to flowers, right?
Do you listen to this show? Because I say this is my analogy. Go ahead. You be saying this is the idea behind arranged marriages. I agree. You be going back to what you were saying. Go ahead.
Then there was wisdom in that, brother Yubi. There was wisdom in the idea that you arrange a marriage, because a marriage is indeed an arrangement. You know, some people call a marriage a business. I don't necessarily say that, because now when we understand business, we don't understand the business outside of predatory capitalism. So we tend to see marriages as expressions of predatory capitalism. That's on another aside. When we're talking about romance, if I know that you're allergic to flowers, it's not romantic for me to get you flowers.
No, it's not.
But if I know that you love flowers, it's romantic for me to get you those without you asking.
Right.
Meaning I anticipated the fact that you would love something, and I did it on that anticipation. That's romance. But you know, again, Disney gives us the idea of romance and rom-coms, and they unfortunately taint that idea, because romance can be something as small. When my father met my mother, and they had his first encounter going over to her home to meet her parents and to meet her. He asked her, he said, well, what you want me to bring you? And this is how beautiful and country my mother's soul is. She said, bring me a can of corn. And when he came with a can of corn. Now, that's romantic. Now, if she would have asked for corn and he would have came with a dozen of roses, I'm sure she would have been happy to get the roses. But she could use that corn. She couldn't use them roses.
And that's what she wanted. And when you pay attention to the people that you're dating, or just in life, it doesn't need just to, once you pay attention to people, you know, they say treat people how you want to be treated, and I agree, but also treat people how they want to be treated.
Come on now.
More than anything else. So when you look at people and you say treat them like you want to be treated, so if you want respect people.
That's it.
Right? Treat people with respect going across the border, because you want somebody to respect you. But again, if I tell you I don't like flowers, now listen, if you're listening here, I love flowers. let's not get it twisted. I love fresh flowers on my table every week.
Yes.
If I could get fresh flowers, I'm a happy girl. If I walk in my house and there's some fresh flowers there, or some listen, I buy myself fresh flowers because it makes me feel good, right? And I'm one of them people who pay attention, that like I'm a gift giver, right? But I don't like just because gifts, if there's no meaning behind it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I want to get you something that's gonna light up your face. The light in your face, like the light up and the smile, makes me feel good. It warms my heart. So if I'm getting you something that you don't like, I'm going to be like the food. You say, don't tell that sister she can't cook. Remember we was talking about that?
Yes.
No, I'm not one of them people. I want to know, because when you eat it, I want you to be pleased. I want to see the smile on your face. If you're not getting that smile on your face, it does me no good, nor does it do you.
I agree. Don't tell that sister that she can't cook. Anticipate. Again, romance, what we call romance, is just the anticipation of need. want, or desire. The reason why we go to Publix instead of Walmart is because Publix has the ability to anticipate.
No, we go to Publix because it's like the Garden of Eden over there. Have you ever went? Listen, when you go to Walmart, and I like Walmart, don't get me wrong,
Right.
but you go to Walmart, you go to their fruit section, it looks like you on Sesame Street at the garbage. What is the garbage pail man name?
Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah, Oscar. You look like you have visited Oscar the Grouch.
Shout out to Jim Henson.
Right, and that's what you get. You look like they picked it up right at the garbage can and gave it to you.
Right.
Boom. But you go into Publix, and there's the Garden of Eden.
That's anticipation, Q. They understand.
But I'm just saying, you go in there, you get the sprinkle of the water. Oh no! You see somebody changing the fruit around all day. It just looks good. You take a bite of it, you feel like you're eating something healthy, even if it doesn't have the seeds in it, right? Be careful if your fruit don't have seeds. Look, be careful. But
that takes us back to our original statement when we're talking about it being intentional. Intentional. Yeah. If we know that mist, be serious. But if we understand that there are needs that exist, then we are the ones who fulfill those needs. And that was the whole message behind the idea of the slaughtering of the innocents. The one that's given in Exodus and the one that's given in Matthew is that the ruling class, whether they be the Pharaonic house in the Hebrew myth or the house of Herod in the Christian myth, the ruling class understood that there would only be salvation through the womb of a woman, that she would have to give birth to the solution to their problems. So what he said was, okay, let's have a mass purging. It was done again in the Hebrew tradition in the book of Exodus. It's done in the Hebrew tradition by Pharaoh in the attempt to get rid of all the firstborn Hebrew because he thought that there would be a deliverer. And it was also done by Herod in the idea of the slaughter of the innocents in the Christian Bible. And this is meant to show you that those in power understand that we are the solution to our problems. And the proper pairing of man and woman and the produce that comes from their womb. The Catholics say, blessed art thou among women and blessed art the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. They're not saying this by mistake. This is the fruit of a long tree.
It's not, but so if you look at it, I believe in like I'm a hopeless romantic, right? But and then on the flip side, I'm a realist too, right?
Okay.
I guess you can have a little bit of both. I do know that history does tell you that arranged marriages was there prior, not until the 70s or so, when it became that the arranged marriages wasn't the top priority and we married for love, right?
We married for what the ruling society told us love was.
Right.
Because sometimes, love.
And you're the history, but it was around the 1970s, right? Somewhere around there?
Around the middle part of the 20th century. So we're talking about post-World War II, middle part of the 20th century, when the idea of feminism began to catch up and catch into swing and fooled a lot of American African women into thinking that they had the same interests as the ruling class. Well, when they say that when a slave thinks that he and his master have the same interests, he'll pick cotton at night. So what we didn't understand was, as we were becoming integrated into a society, we didn't have the same interests as the general or the ruling society at that particular time. A good example would be that the vast majority, and I use this as a placeholder, I use the words white and black as a placeholder, but the vast majority of white women who were fighting for liberation were fighting to get out of the house into the workplace. While the vast majority of black women who were their maids and servants were fighting to get out of the workplace and back in the house because they had never had an opportunity to be the at-home mothers with their families. They didn't
So
have the
I don't. So here we go. I don't know where I lost the chat at because I'm
okay.
looking at it. Your wife say been happily married 20 years and never seen it as a business. You mean we've been doing it wrong? Laughing. I don't know where that came, but
Yes.
I do. So I don't know, but I do think when you so it's the wordplay, right? Hopping on from what your wife is saying.
As far as a marriage being a business?
Yeah, I mean, so tomatoes. You can call it what you wanted, but anything you are with somebody with, you're working at it, right? If you go to work and if you love what you do, you don't see it as work, right? You see it as something that you enjoy and you happen to get a great paycheck with it or
Mhm.
some type of paycheck with
Mhm.
it. I get the concept when people say marriage is a business. You go in there as a partnership and you want to produce something amazing, right?
I can understand that. Yeah, I can
Right.
understand what
You
you're
know what
saying.
I mean? So when you go in there, it's not by accident that your boys excel in what they excel in. It's not accident that your son plays the guitar, right?
Mhm.
And he does an excellent job at it. It's something that y'all worked at and then you
Mhm.
invested in, which is kind of like a business. When you go into the business, you invest your time in it, right or wrong, right?
Yes,
You
I
know,
would agree
and
with
I
that.
mean, so when you look at it, and then Brother John said, I've heard that it's a contract. It is.
That marriage is a contract?
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure that it, I'm sure that individuals have the ability to define marriage as a business and live within that definition. I don't knock that at all. Like,
Mhm.
because I know people who do. But there was a CEO one time for Chrysler Corporation when they were being pulled into a lawsuit led by Ralph Nader, consumer advocate Ralph Nader, and he was testifying before Congress, and they were talking about the safety of the vehicles,
Mhm.
of some of the vehicles not being recalled, and him knowing them not being safe.
Mhm.
And they asked him, they said, "Well, sir, what do you think about this?" He said, "My job is not to make safe vehicles. My job is to make profits for shareholders." So business can be perverted,
And marriage can
and
too.
marriage can as well.
So it's
So
yeah. So you when you look at it, you have good marriages.
mhm,
You have bad marriages. You have some people that come in there with good intentions, and you have some people that does not.
mhm,
So I mean, again, I'm with the two people who in this relationship define what it is,
I
and
agree.
whatever you want to call it, call it. If you don't believe it's a business, then it ain't your business, right? And but if you feel like it is, then it's your business. If you feel like you're in a contract with somebody to keep, and I think you come in there, and I think defining your roles
Mhm.
and the responsibilities of your partnership is very important, because when you have defined roles, then it cuts down confusion,
Mhm.
right? If me and you are trying to do the same thing and there's other stuff that needs to be done,
Mhm.
something is lacking if I'm trying to do what you do.
I agree.
And then I need to do something else. So I do believe in defining what your roles are and not saying that they don't, mix up sometimes and
Mhm.
switch up. Sometimes I may have to do something and that you normally do because you can't do it right now.
Mhm.
So being in a partnership with anybody, it's about being the yin to the yang.
I agree.
Okay, Brother John say family business. Hey, people have family businesses.
Yeah, definitely. But there are certain times where you understand that the principles that guide business are completely inappropriate to the principles that guide family. Let me give you an example, and this for you too, Brother John. If we're having a dinner, like let's say it's a Thanksgiving dinner,
Mm-hmm.
or for anything, say it's a Juneteenth celebration, or a Kwanzaa dinner, or any other kind of dinner, iftar, right? And everybody's in, and you're with Big Mama, right,
Mm-hmm.
or with Grandma or Mother, or or anyone, Father, anyone who prepares the meal, and they prepare a fantastic meal. Like what's your favorite thing to have?
Black
It's
eyed peas
like
and dressing.
so you got some good zippers, right? You got some good black eyed peas fresh out the field, and you got your dressing, and you have everything, and it's laid out, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And you got, I like sweet tea, and you got your sweet tea on. I like that dog skin sweet tea to be
Okay.
real sweet. You know what
Okay,
I'm talking about?
got
Give
it.
you a headache
Mm-hmm.
afterwards. So you have everything out, and then you eat your meal, and then you collect everything, and then you walk over to whoever prepared the meal, and you hand them some money. And they say, well, what is this for? And you say, well, it's for the meal. You've insulted them.
So, depending on how you look at it, right? But I'm going to tell you, flip side of that, this meal's so good, and I know you stood up and prepared yourself. Not only am I going to tell you thank you, but I'm going to tip you because you did that service of love for it. So let's say it wasn't in money, right? Let's say that the meal was so good that you went out and bought her favorite flowers.
Okay.
Same thing.
Okay, let's say that.
Right.
Okay, that will work. That will work because there's some places and some spaces where money has absolutely no value, especially when it appeals to an interpersonal relationship between loved ones.
So this is romance, right?
Well,
and so
could be
because then you know what that person needs and wants, right? And you're anticipating what they would like for their good meal. Now you know if your person likes money or lack that of, and they went and slaved up. Let's say you know your big mama have extra bills, and she spent her last on this meal to prepare it for you. And your thanks to her is like, big mama, your lights, you don't worry about your lights. I got it today. That is a thank you and an appreciation.
Now go to Ruth Chris or Rococo Steakhouse or any other place that we like in the area, right? And then try to buy the cook some flowers. It won't work. He wants some money, right? Because that's a business. And in the business relationship, now he would appreciate flowers.
So I'm finna tell you.
But if you do flowers in lieu of your check, then it's gonna be some people waiting outside for you sent by Anthony Holloway.
Wait, let me tell you this.
They're gonna walk your
is that when you walk in there, he knows that he is getting a check. But he appreciate the flowers of the thank you. So when your big mama goes and cook your meal, she knows that she's gonna get a thanks and a hug and I love you, but she appreciates the money.
Nah, but the thanks and I hug you and it doesn't. And I love you supersedes the money, because if she didn't get the money, she still would not have provided you with an expression of her love. But we've reduced love to a commodity. You see the danger in doing that? So that's the danger of calling a marriage or any kind of relationship that's really supposed to be about a personal bond between two human beings. To call that a business is we will reduce eventually that relationship to the status of a commodity. And that's why brothers and sisters are getting dragged in divorce court. That's why brothers and sisters are getting dragged before child support lawyers. And you said it yourself, that's why the entire system is getting paid off of the destruction of relationships, because we've commoditized something that should not be a commodity.
So I think our brother Barack said it best, is that we're practicing divorce with our relationships, right?
Yeah, no, you can't listen to me. No. Qiana, no, Q. No, Q. You have to say that again. I need to hear that. The listening and the viewing audience needs to hear that wisdom one more time before you take another word. I got to cut you off right there, and I need you to say, what did Brother Barack say? Say that one more time.
Barack said that we are practicing divorce, right? And I will have to agree with him, and I will tell you that now I think is that when people get married or go in there, they say, if it doesn't work out, I can get a divorce, right? And when you go in there to anything and already have your exit plan, that when times get rough or you don't like something, you then take your exit out because you've already pre-planned your exit.
Say it again, Q.
So,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm listening to the wisdom coming from this woman right here.
I'm
Say it one more time for
so,
me, Qiana.
yeah, I think that you already come in there with an exit plan. You already know that when, or you tell yourself when this person doesn't do what you want, if it's not, if you're uncomfortable or somebody tone wasn't right, you already prepared to exit. And when we are doing something, when you're setting up something for a lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
the plan should not be to exit, but how to execute and make sure that it becomes a lifetime and not the exit. But people put divorce on there and it says it's so easy. It rolls off your tongue like butter. Like this is supposed to be. Like this is Big Mama's meal. And when it gets done, you're going to feel amazing because this dinner was good because you divorced somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at it, the preparation of being with somebody for a lifetime should be the top priority, and the divorce should be exited out. Now, I know I'm not married, right? And the married people could say
views expressed,
right? But I
No,
mean,
I
but that is my views when you come to it, is that when you, okay, so is that unconditional love?
Who said that?
Brother John.
Oh, well, Brother John, you gonna take this? Or you want me to take it?
I'll let you run it first.
Brother John,
And
one of
then-
the most ridiculous concepts that we've ever been fed by the Disney culture is the concept of unconditional love. No one should ever love anyone without conditions.
Okay.
You should not love your children without conditions. You should not love a religion without conditions. Everything should have conditions and everyone should have conditions. But the idea of unconditional love is something that was fed to us by people who hated us. Because that idea is that no matter what anyone does to you, you should love them. You should love them in spite of these things. This is the idea of slaves obey your masters. You should not obey people who treat you poorly. And you should not love anyone who doesn't love you at all. And you show love through duty. So you shouldn't love people who don't keep their duty to you. They are not deserving of your love. We need to wipe our minds free from the idea of unconditional love. There are some conditions by which a person does not deserve to be loved.
Okay, so there's, you're right. Yeah, you're right. When it comes to, so you be saying love does not have conditions, and then except the kids, everything is conditional.
That's crazy as hell, Yubi, for you to say that love does not have conditions. And you would say that if there were a woman who was in love in an abusive relationship and she said, I love this person unconditionally, you would say she was crazy. Because you understand, when you understand that the primary reference of everything is self, that if something harms me, for me to love it is pathological.
So you know what we need to teach is that when you're looking at transit, you know what? We got 2 minutes. We got a call. This is probably brother Yubi.
Come on here, brother.
Hello.
I know y'all finna go to break, so I'm gonna call after break, and I will explain why love don't got no conditions.
Okay.
Because I can't explain it right now, but I'll call after the break. I'll explain it though.
Oh, you okay? You be saying he will explain it when he comes back.
Please,
because he don't have enough
Yeah,
time.
tell him I'll explain it. He said that's crazy, so I'm gonna call back out.
Yeah, okay, Yubi.
All right.
And unfortunately, you can't hear.
I can't hear, yes,
because
but that's okay. I know Brother Yubi has something on his mind.
He got something on his mind. But I mean, I think that children do teach you unconditional love. You love them in spite of, and this is it. You know, I think that your kids give you your first true heartbreak. Now this is me. I think your kids. I think your kids give you your first true heartbreak. they are going to disappoint you like no other, and then they're going to give you joy like no other also, right? When there's something about seeing your kids flourish and be the people that they want to be, that gives you something that nobody else can give you. But there's also a disappointment when you have dreams and hopes and they are not hitting their full potential. You know what I mean? Your kid can do a lot of things and even take a life from somebody, but as their parents, you can still find that unconditional love for them. Not saying you agree or disagree with their actions, right? But most parents will not leave their child side because they did something wrong. Now, not saying they don't get them, like, fuss at them, discipline them, and all that other stuff, but they then still are gonna be there because you gave life to that person. So I do believe that children show you what true love is and unconditional love is, because you have this for nobody else but your children.
I don't love mine without conditions.
Okay.
There are clear conditions that my children have to have in order for me to show them love, but that's with anyone. But,
is it to show them love or for them to get things? Because you're gonna love them in spite of.
No. I won't. There's some things that my children can do that I won't love them. I just won't, because they're conditions that are placed on love.
So you would disown?
I wouldn't. I can't disown them because they're my children. They'll still be my children. There should be some people I don't love. I know. It sounds crazy. It sounds cruel.
Know what? Here we go.
It sounds cruel, but it's the reality.
We're gonna dive into this a little bit more because he's tough and that sounds crazy. Okay, so listen, we're gonna come back. Be ready. Tag some friends. Tell some friends. We're gonna continue these conversations. 7 minutes after the hour. Send us stars. Donate, and share the page.
That's it.
A safe place for kids. However, after this morning, many things would obviously change.
A huge Europe-wide swoop on suspected members of the Calabrian mafia.
The Italian authorities decide when the major strike should happen. We're talking about more than 100 arrest warrants and many thousands of police officers involved across Europe today.
Ukraine's President Zelensky makes a rare foreign visit to Finland. The United Nations asks the warring generals in Ukraine to give security guarantees for aid workers. And how are the people of Australia feeling about the coronation of their new head of state, Britain's King Charles? First, a full bulletin of the very latest world news.
Hello, I'm Moira Alderson with the BBC News. 8 children and a security guard have been killed in a shooting by a pupil at his elementary school in the Serbian capital, Belgrade. Another 6 children and a teacher were wounded. Guy Delaunay reports.
The incident started at around 8 in the morning at the Vladislav Ribnikar school in Belgrade's central Vračar district.
Battles are raging, therefore leading to mass displacement. The death toll from the 19-day-old conflict has reached at least 550 people, with another 5,000 injured. Meanwhile, the World Food Programme is warning the crisis in Sudan could lead to a wider disaster in the region as tens of thousands of people flee Sudan.
The ripple effect for the region is significant. It's a real concern, and we just need to find peace. We need the two parties to the conflict to come together and find a way to resolve the conflict, because this has the possibility of destabilizing the whole region.
President Biden's ordered the deployment of 1,500 Army and Marine Corps soldiers to the U.S.-Mexico border for 90 days for starters, as the U.S. prepares to lift the Trump-era Title 42 pandemic policy May 11th. For the last 3 years, the measure has been used to quickly expel over 2.7 million migrants at the southern border without due process. There's already 2,500 National Guard troops stationed at the U.S.-Mexico border as the Biden administration has routinely cracked down on asylum seekers. Biden officials on Tuesday also reached a deal with Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, allowing the U.S. to continue to deport non-Mexican migrants across the border into Mexico. Biden's latest move was widely condemned by immigrant rights advocates who've called out his enforcement of asylum bans and anti-immigrant policies similar to Trump's. In related news, Republican Texas Governor Greg Abbott has resumed sending buses of asylum seekers to New York. This, according to Mayor Eric Adams. It's been months since New York City last received buses of asylum seekers after thousands of people started arriving almost daily since the fall. In Minnesota, a judge found former Minneapolis police officer Tu Tao guilty of aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter in the May 25th, 2020 police murder of George Floyd, which set off nationwide protests against racism. Judge Peter Cahill said Tao, quote, made a conscious decision to actively participate in Floyd's death when he held back bystanders, encouraged his fellow officers as they violently pinned Floyd down as the life drained from his body, and blocked him from receiving medical aid. All 4 former officers involved in Floyd's murder have been convicted on both state and federal charges. Tao could receive 41 to 57 months in prison when he's sentenced in August. Israeli forces and various armed factions in Gaza have agreed to a ceasefire after Israeli airstrikes rained down on the besieged Gaza Strip following rocket launches from Gaza in response to the death of the Palestinian hunger striker Khader Adnan while in an Israeli prison. Israel claimed it only targeted military sites, but Gazans rocked by the air raids said civilian areas were hit.
As you can see, the situation is very bad. There are airstrikes and people are scared. We are shop owners and all shops are closed. The whole country is closed. I usually leave at midnight, but today we closed our shops around 9 or 8 as a result of the tension in the country.
The Ugandan parliament Tuesday passed a altered version of its bill targeting LGBTQ people after the President Museveni requested several tweaks. It remains one of the most draconian anti-LGBTQ bills in the world and includes the death penalty in certain cases and a 20-year sentence for the so-called promotion of homosexuality. Back in the United States, House Democrats have put in motion a process.
Hello.
We're back.
Just like that. This is go ahead.
Enjoying y'all this King Jab.
All right. This is Qiana.
And this is the intellectual gangster brother, Donnie.
And this is the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, brought to you by the New Image Project, better known as
See That.
Right.
You don't see it?
And what is it?
Because smart.
It's the new gays.
That's it.
All right. So listen,
right
if y'all listen, so I think we had some really hot topics, right? And I'm reading your comments, and so we got a caller coming in. Now, when you talk, I'm gonna have to relay because my fellas can't hear you. Go ahead, speak.
Okay, so now, Brother Donnie, this is what I'm gonna tell you now.
You know
when
what?
You
here.
say you.
No.
When you when you say that you love, when you love your kids, in essence, you giving them tough love because you saying I love you, but you giving them conditions. Once you put conditions on it, you not saying it's love. You saying I only love you, or even got any feelings for you if you meet this bar. If you don't meet this bar, I don't love you. So love don't have no conditions. You like them now. You like if they do this. You like them. You don't love them at all. Because if you love them, whether they meet the bar or not, you will love it anyway. Whether they, a good thing is, what's to do with the serial killer? His mother didn't like what he did. She didn't like his actions, but she loved her child. She didn't even want them to kill him, Ted Bundy. She didn't want them to, hey, don't kill him, give him life. Because she didn't like what he did, but she loved her child. You may not like things that people do. That's like. That's not love. When you love, even when you mad.
Pause for a second so I can. So he's saying that with conditions is somebody that is something that you like, but when you love somebody, you love them in spite of. Just like Ted Bundy's mother didn't like what he did, but she still loved her child.
That was crazy as hell. That's crazy as hell to love Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy had no redeemable qualities.
So this is where I disagree at, because I don't like what he did, but if I produce somebody there, I did it. I may be furious and didn't like it, but I couldn't give life to something and don't love. Now this is just me, and maybe but I'm also one of them people that don't have anybody that I can see that I truly hate in my past. I might not like you and I cut you off, but there's nobody that but this is me.
So well, let me say something too. So when your parents discipline you, right, you get mad. You hate your mama. You hate your daddy. You hate them at that moment.
You do.
But then as soon as something go wrong, yeah, I wish my daddy was there. I wish my mom was there. In that moment. So when you say no redeemable quality, everybody got good and bad. It's whether they get known for their good or they get known for their bad. But you got some qualities that you done that I'm sure you ain't proud of. You changed them.
Yep, I agree.
But then some people don't like you because of the things that you did before you changed.
So he say
before you became the intellectual gangster that you call yourself today. Before you became that,
he said that there's qualities that you probably have that you didn't like, and then you change. And some people don't like you for the old qualities that you are, and it's kind of what do you invest in, the good or the bad? And before you became the intellectual gangster that we see before, there's things that you probably didn't like about yourself or did prior that people are still holding you to the standards of. And I do believe that people now this is Qiana speaking, not you, evolve into different human beings. Like you shouldn't be the same person that you was, good or bad. You know what I mean? If you look at Ted Bundy's story. Okay, Yubi, I'm gonna hang up. Hold on.
Okay.
Like even if you look at Ted Bundy's story, when you said is that like he struggled with it, right? At the beginning, it was the first kill was an accident, and then he didn't kill anymore until he came back out of the military, and then it became something totally different. And then at the end, if he found redemption in himself, I that ain't for me to figure out, you know what I mean? But people who talked to him, they was like they saw a different person, and he was remorseful, but he was still to the core did something bad. You know what I mean? But I don't know. So okay, so here we go.
Does it take something that bad for a parent not to like you?
You not like them, but I don't.
I see.
I can't see. So
I see. Maybe the words of "I love you" and I like you and I adore you, but the actions show that you really don't like your kids all the time.
You don't have to like them to love them.
Especially the way like I see some women speak to these young men. That's showing a lot of I don't like you.
But like and love are two different, aren't they?
It
can be one and the same. So here we go.
If you love me, you abuse. Like I see abuse. Like I see it. I see it coming from. I ain't gonna say young men. I'm talking about from parents to kids. Period. The way it's spoken down to them. That's not like you. So I'm gonna abuse you on a daily basis. So you want me to tell you what that is? That's like.
You want me to tell you what it is?
Let's go.
And let's run it. Is when you look at it. I thought you.
I'm spilling coffee all on my shirt.
I will tell you this is a lot of times people take their past traumas and put it on their loved ones, and so we don't know people history. When you look at your parents, and then you wonder why you have a sugar parent. Y'all know where I'm going, right?
Sugar, honey, iced tea.
Right. And we just, we have that. But that's all they were taught. And when they look at it, even though they know that it doesn't feel good, that was the type of love that they show. Typically, the history say abusers become abusers. Right?
I want to say, I'm going to agree and I'm going to disagree.
Okay. Well, we don't subscribe to all, so I think people.
I feel like, yes, that is true in some situations. A lot of situations is straight resentment.
It is.
And I just think that I miss like really the cruise of the conversation, but I just think that
it just kind of went everywhere.
When you're talking about liking and loving a child through any circumstances, like it doesn't have to go to the extremeness that you killed these people. Let's look at like how we're dealing with our kids before we drop them off to school. You know what I mean? That's just me. I mean, it took a little different direction, but that's just me.
I mean, so I'm looking at it when you're so Qiana, right? I can tell you almost the first time I cussed at Cheyenne, and she was almost grown, and she almost like shattered, like her world almost ended when I did this to her, right? But other parents say, their kids are immune to it. Now, Qiana thinks it's totally wrong to treat your children like that, right? But I'm learning through life is that everybody has these different dynamics. And as Reno say, like my family taught me one thing, and somebody else's family taught them something different, right? And the true reality is that everybody has these different love languages, and trauma has become a top love language in our community. You know what I mean? Like when you look at, I'm looking at.
I get what you're trying to say. So I just don't think. Go ahead.
So let me tell you the harshness, and so we think that staying in a relationship, or the society say, if you're being abused or you're being mistreated, talked too harshly, and all this other stuff, if you can love them through that pain, it's unconditional, right? And this is showing how loyal you are and showing that your love is genuine. Doesn't make it right.
Right. And I don't think people realize the amount of true psychopathy it takes to love somebody unconditionally. Because I don't think that when we say that, we're thinking about the conditions. But when you say unconditional, that means there are no conditions by which or under which or through which you will stop loving somebody. And what I'm here to tell you, and maybe this might just be me, but there are definitely conditions where I will stop loving somebody. And it don't matter who that person is.
But usually the exception to that be your kids, though.
I said it, but
I didn't say it for my kids.
He said it, but so
my kids don't count on that either.
Yeah, your kids.
Listen, so what's wrong with that?
My
I mean, because so kind of read the comments. Royce was earlier. Now I can't roll with that. I think he was talking about with the kids. And then Brother John said, I can't think of anything my children can do that would make me not love them.
Brother John, do you remember?
Wait, let me finish. Like is a different thing. Dealing interactions, all the small stuff could change, but I cannot imagine anything they could do to make me not love them.
And I don't doubt that. And Brother John, do you remember when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was talking to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and he said, you cannot conceive the depths of Satan. And the minister, being a very intelligent person, was blown, because what I'm telling us now is that I don't think we're lying when we say I can't think of no situation or no circumstance under which I would not love my children. I believe that. But I think that we're projecting our goodness on the world. And as African people, we have the habit of doing that. We project our goodness on the things, onto a world that don't see it like that. And there's some things. There are some things you might have to get there mentally.
Depending on what the child did, I might turn you in and still love you now.
Yeah, you can still
get commissary.
Hey, caller, introduce yourself.
Hey, how y'all doing, Tampa Bay Breakfast Club? This is one and only Mr. Edmond calling in live.
Mr. Edmond, live from the tire shop.
We don't talk to you.
Go ahead.
Hey, so this unconditional love, so I like to agree with everybody on this, right? Because this is a special subject. If y'all remember, love and the unconditional love, that is like a God trait. So
that's
everybody
a God trait, he said.
Everybody ain't supposed to have unconditional love, because everybody ain't that godly, right? So one of the things that let you know that unconditional love is real is because we standing here today.
So he said,
thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Okay, so here he said that unconditional love is a godly trait, and everybody is not godly, but we do represent unconditional love because we're here today.
Well, you can sign me up for the ungodly troop, because I'm just not godly. If that's the case, listen, that's fine. I'm perfectly okay being a functioning human being and understanding mutual well-being, which is the basis of all moral values, secular moral values, is based on mutual well-being. I'm well within understanding that and understanding that I don't have any traits that I consider godly. Probably good choice, good chance. I'm probably the least godly of anybody will ever talk to.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
your boy ain't godly.
I can't agree or disagree with that because that's your
right.
take on
I got y'all.
Go ahead.
I mean, some people might need some godliness. I'll be there for them.
You'll be there.
Don't worry about it. And then look who you're getting it from. You be.
Okay, and you be saying there will be no forgiveness without unconditional love.
I don't believe in forgiveness either, Yubi. So that puts us
really
right.
Forgiveness.
No,
you got to you forgive. No, you don't.
I
no,
don't.
I don't.
Yeah, remember we had this conversation.
I heard this. I hear it in your tone in some conversation.
We need leaders just like this because
that's
why it's a fist. That's why it's five. That's why we got to come together. And
but
close
it's still,
the
but
fist, we can't all be the
there's
same.
a balance. There is but there's a balance. You need a little bit of all, but not too much of anything. Hey, go ahead, caller.
Without unconditional love, there would be no forgiveness. I think, brother. I think that he confusing the relationship. You could do something that make me not want to have a relationship. I don't want to have a relationship with you, but that don't mean I don't love you. You might don't want to have a relationship with the person because of what they're doing, but that don't mean you don't love them. Hey, your folks might be on drugs. It don't mean you don't love them. You just don't like what they're doing. You're not gonna have a relationship while they doing that. But when they get themselves straight, you're going to have a relationship with them, maybe or maybe not. But did you stop loving them? No. You didn't stop loving them. I think he's confusing the relationship with love. Yeah, some things that people could do that'll make you say you don't want to have a relationship with them. But not love your kids or not love this just because they did something. No, you don't want to have a relationship with them. You still love them. You just don't want to have a relationship with them. And I think that's where the mix up coming at, because he defined it as a relationship. A relationship is not love.
So you be saying, he said, I think you're defining the relationship with love. You don't have to have a relationship with somebody to love them. Like if your parents is doing drugs, you may not like what they're doing and you may not have a relationship with them, but that does not mean that you don't love them. And that if they got their stuff together, then maybe y'all redefine that relationship.
Well, substance use, brother, thank you so much. Substance use is not a condition by which I would say a person can't be loved.
So what is your condition?
When my condition of a person not being worthy of love or not being a person who I will love,
right?
If that person has a reckless, wanton, and intentional disregard for the well-being of another person for the profit of their own position, that puts you outside of my circle of love. And I say this, I tell people this all the time. You have to be careful even with who you speak with, because when you talk to certain people, you cheapen your conversation. So you cheapen your definition of love when your love is unconditional.
But when you say, when your love is unconditional, it's not to everybody, right? So you don't give this grace to everybody. Like, I love people from a distance, right? I think that as a human being, I want people to strive, and that's a form of love. I want people to do good. I want people to be happy. That's a form of love. But when I'm thinking my unconditional love is to my parents, you know what I mean, to my children, to a lot of my family members, to my partner, whoever I end up with, it will be my unconditional love. Everybody doesn't deserve your unconditional love. It's not that you love everybody unconditional, but there are certain people that you love unconditional. And I believe that children is definitely one of them people.
There's certain people that people love unconditionally, but there are no people that I love unconditionally, because I believe I have a very profound understanding of what love is. And what love is something that does not exist without conditions. We say it a lot, and it's become cliche. And I think when we say unconditional love, we mean a very deep feeling of love and duty and entrenchment in those feelings. But I don't honestly believe we believe that these things are unconditional. I don't believe that. I don't think if we take an honest assessment that we'll get that. I think if we take an honest assessment from our community, we will, because our community suffers from toxic lovability. We have always fallen in love with that which has destroyed us. And we've had relationships with the things that we should hate, but we've had these relationships in a loving manner, and that's retarded our success as a community. And because of that, that's one thing that views expressed. So that's one thing that I hold hard into. But I can't love anyone unconditionally at all.
See, I think it's an individual thing, because being that I'm a Gemini and I'm the only child, my love, like, my circle is my circle. If I deal with you, like when I move my brothers, like, really literally in my mind, like, because of my background living in LA, gang bang, when we go somewhere, bro, I'm gonna die for you if we have to die.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't mess with you, I literally will probably walk by you while you're dead on the ground, like, hey man, come on, let's go.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But see, your loves have, so your unconditional love doesn't go to everybody. And it shouldn't. No. Your unconditional love should not go to everybody. Right? They laughing. Oh, he's a Gemini. Turn his mic off.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. And that's what's wrong with the world right now, because y'all don't love us because of the truthfulness that we.
Come on here.
I'm trying to pull up some of Brother Donnie words. Because Brother Donnie said he had a whole paragraph to say somebody was slimy. I don't love slimy. That's what he said. I was like, ooh, you were laying about it. I was like, oh, you just don't like slimy dudes. I know.
Pretty much. That's what it is. Yeah. All in all. Yeah,
I can translate, bro. I got you.
Listen, I would tell you is that when it comes to the matters of heart, I stay out of it. You know what I mean? When people come and talk to me, like, when it comes to the matters of heart, it's not a light switch that goes on and off. And I don't. If it did do that, then we wouldn't have a lot of relationships bad relationships recycling. Because love is something that, just like anything else, grows over time. And if you take something from it, you're gonna miss it, and you're gonna yearn for the good part of it. And so you're always searching for that good part of a toxic relationship.
And there's different types of love too.
There is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think a love from someone that you're laying with is definitely different from a love that you would have for a child or something like that. So it's different types of.
I mean, you see it even in passing, right? The love that you have for your parents, the love that you have for your spouse, the love that you have for your children. And when you lose all three of them, or lose it, you there's a different kind of sadness or emotion that comes from it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so that you know that you love all of these people differently. Like I always say, when I lost my son, I felt like my soul was snatched from me, right? Mm-hmm. But then when I lost my older brother, there was a sadness that was undescribable. Mm-hmm. Both horrific, but different feelings within itself. Mm-hmm. And that's how I explain it. When you look at it, so I think love does have conditions, depending on who it is. But once you truly, if you're in my circle, I really do love you unconditional. And I have cut people off who I still love, but don't want nothing to do with. And when I say this, I don't wish any harm on you. You just can no longer be in my circle. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of life, is that I dictate who is in and who is not. But if I once told you I love you, I don't have anybody in there that I'd be like, die today.
I got you.
Right now. But life has told me not.
Come on now, Jam. Come on, Jam. Don't do it. Don't do it.
This is where I'm finna go.
Don't do it.
But you know what? I can't say. But I'm gonna tell you, this is through therapy, because I was there at one point. So you know what I mean. I was like, run them off the street. No, but I'm just saying, relationships is crazy. And the beauty is that we all define what it is and what it looks like and what works.
And much of the love that we know comes from
and
the
you would say
definition.
relationships have conditions. And he's talking, I'm assuming you're talking about, men and women relationships and not, or a partnership.
Well, when we're talking about love, right? When we're talking about definition, these things come from a thing called Phaedo that was written by Plato about Socrates and his description of what love was. And this is the New Testament concept of love, the four loves, the philos, the eros, the irene, and the agape. And all these four things, all meaning love, but meaning different ways that loves is expressed and having different conditions for all of these. So we understand the philosophy behind it. And you best believe your brother understands the philosophy behind it. But I also understand, there are some conditions that there's some things that you can do. There's some things that you can plan for others that can completely write you out. In my book, that can completely write you out. But now, again, I was raised by parents who didn't teach me that unconditional love was a wise thing, because we were taught about the unconditional love that slaves had for their masters. And this is a real thing. I mean, this is why you have a Morris Brown.
They still do got them.
Yeah. This is a while. You ever seen the way a whole love a pimp?
I will.
That's crazy as hell, right? Is it not crazy?
So wait, Domino say this is a good topic for He Say She Say. It is. So make sure that y'all listen.
Damien,
Domino
Davis.
This is
the comedian Domino Davis. I'm on your head.
Yeah, you can be on my head. He is good. Make him call. No, Damien, I agree. Great topic. So why they said that He Say She Say is this Friday from 7 to 11 at Urban Drinkery. Listen, Barack is gonna be my co-host this week. I hope everybody else in the studios join us because
I'm outside.
Come on, I know you don't, but come on.
I'd be able to go in the house.
Pretend like it's a football game because you're there after dark there. I just thought
just like my wife
on a Friday night, right? On a Friday night, right? Yes. All right, so please, everybody show up. It's gonna be great drinks because Urban Drinkery is doing it. Great conversation. We're gonna definitely
bring your cigars.
Please.
And bring me some
backwoods.
And
look, they say Domino. Yes, you know what? It is Damien. And you know what? I knew that too.
And his wife on his
slide. Yeah, keep on. See, y'all should put me on Wednesday nights. So Wednesday nights. Tonight at at 31 Grand.
Oh, that's my spot too.
So Thursday night you have the free comedy show, and then they're also adding
that's Thursday or Wednesday.
No, Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. Yeah, did I say Wednesday? I said tonight.
You said tonight, but then you shot Thursday.
I'm sorry. Cool. So today is Wednesday. So yes, 31 Grand with Sharonda and Damien and the rest of the Davis clan. And everybody who come out there and support them. And then they're also doing Family Feud this Wednesday there tonight as well. So you'll get a mixture of two events.
So
at 31 grand.
For those like me, that is actually two places that make me come outside at night. That's Urban Drinkery and 31 Grand.
Well, it's three. Urban Drinkery, 31 Grand, and football.
Well, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. I was on football yesterday. We had coaches come and get fingerprints. I'm already selling out. It's okay.
Speaking of, big shout out to my nephew Shamar Rigby from Lakewood High School, #1, the big unit. Listen, this individual just got his 23rd offer from the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. This young man is special.
I'm saying and all that because what he did last year. I thought Shamar was gone. I didn't know he was coming back to do this again. This boy's
It made you scratch your head.
Ooh. Yeah, he's something to see.
He's a once-in-a-generation player. He's a once-in-a-generation player.
He is like Lakewood finna have another line of players hitting the league in these next 4 to 5 years. And he's going to be one of them.
Watch him closely. And his cousin.
Shayna say he's definitely be at them games, especially Lakewood.
And his cousin. my oldest son, Yasin Siraj, is gonna be his agent. So we about to do this thing. Come on, we about to do this thing. Look here. Come on now. Listen.
We need an agent to represent these players from St. Petersburg.
Come on.
Somebody from St. Pete.
Come on.
We don't have to tell y'all how the numbers going down.
He's 17, his cousin's 17.
So wait, Sister
He's
Nair,
17 and his cousin's 17.
Oh, so they're amazing. So Sister Nair say this is interesting topics with interesting views from all participating. Thank you for it.
Assalamu alaikum.
That's she's so special.
Yeah, she is. They're the repair of the black family.
And then, like, okay, we talk about the sister, but her husband
Bro,
too,
David,
man.
Daoud.
Oh my God.
Assalamu alaikum, Daoud.
I'm talking about positivity. Just he come around the corner. There you go. I love that, bro. I love them people. I'm thinking about sister split. I'm like, hey, hold on.
And you know what, Sister Nair and your husband, y'all should come out to He Say She Say.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Honestly, that's what it's about. I do He Say She Say because I like healthy relationships and I want our community to have them, and I want us to define it however it looks in your household. And He Say She Say is an open space where it is non-judgmental, where you can put it out there and we can collect tools from each other. You know what I mean? To what they say, iron sharpen iron, or what is and we can do that. It's at Urban Drinkery. I believe your mother is her mother Annie's food truck.
Don't make me tell no lie.
Okay, but I think it is.
I think it's definitely some correlation, but don't make me lie.
But she's there on the Fridays too. But come out. This is what He Say She Say is all about. Yes.
And self-improvement is the basis for community development.
It is.
I heard it was a wise was it a messianic voice that said that? I don't know. We'll see. I think Sister Nair and Brother Daoud might know a little bit about that if they don't know everything about that.
And their movement, the repair of the black family, is so amazing. Because again, the strength of the black family is the heart of our community. And when we have that repair, we will see our children thrive like no other. And we do this for our offspring, right? We do it for the people. And like they say, we plant a tree that we may not ever get to sit under and get the shade under. This is why we need to repair our black families. And we teach people now, then there be generations beyond this generation that then will have the tools that they don't have to repeat the cycle of what we're going through right now, of the broken home. And nobody will be talking about deadbeat dads. And then if we repair the black family, the system don't have to come in and separate us and tell you, I'm going to give you housing, but your man can't live with you. And that the father cannot father their children. So that's why it's important to
and that men need training and women need general civilization.
Oh, do we have an Ask Qiana
Did we do the business grant info?
Oh, do the business grant info. We get because we got a couple. Yeah, we're like only 37 minutes in. Go ahead.
Oh Lord.
Go ahead.
Hold on, give me a second.
Because
in case y'all didn't know, St. Pete and the greenhouse is dropping a new micro fund for businesses. It starts on the 9th of May.
Which is Monday, right?
30th of May. Hold on, I'm trying to find my notes. It's gonna be up to $10,000 from a scale from 10,000 and down for multiple businesses, storefronts, existing businesses, startup business, early stage startup. So if you have a business idea, food trucks on there. If you have a food truck so what's happening is I challenge you to do your research like me. If you interested, because some people ain't interested, and I realize some people just want others to do the work for them. But I'm willing to help 10 people because I realize I can't. I ain't a finger pointer. I understand where you at, and I'm still gonna help you.
So here we go.
Hold on, I'm trying to find this website.
You trying to find it, so I'm gonna go.
St. Pete org.
Go ahead.
It's stpete.org /microfund. stpete.org/microfund. And go in there and read the requirements. Get your documents together. This weekend, y'all, get your documents together and be ready to submit Monday. If you need some help, call me 727-777-5100. It may be some tax documents on there you need help with. I got you.
Or pull up at Agape.
No, don't pull up.
Pull up.
You can always pull up.
Pull up at Agape.
It's a storefront. But the reason why I'm really on this because, and I said something about this at the press conference. When our city give out these grants, us, Black-owned business owners,
right on.
We sleep at the wheel. Some sleep at the wheel, and some of us just getting completely looked over. I called the flag on the last grants that they put out. I hate when people say, "Oh, don't say nothing." No, hell no, we gonna say something. That's why I'm here. If you don't want me to say nothing, don't ask me to come. For real. So this was the play. The whole line of grants went out. I'm like, oh, I got denied. My wife got denied. My phone is a database. I called Brainstorm, he got denied. I called Antonio, he didn't get it. I called Sweller, she didn't get it. I called Skeet. All of us got storefronts. Hold on, what's going on, y'all? Oh, we'll get y'all on the second round. We're not doing that this time.
And there was no second round.
There was a second round, but what happens is you come out and allocate the funds to the people that y'all want to allocate the funds to.
Right.
Y'all. You
already got them picked out.
And we got to be ready because I already kind of picked the mayor ears up about this here, so I want us to send our stuff in so it ain't no. Let's do our part. Let's do our part now.
Right.
Because we don't do our part, then
we can't complain.
No argument. You know what I mean?
Like if you don't
I want to see a balance of this money. Balance it out, bro. I don't want to see this money just going to white and Spanish businesses. Balance this money out.
And it should, because I think the top
marching orders.
So here we go.
Marching orders from King Jab.
Right. So if you have a storefront, I think you can get 10,000. If you have a base business, I saw 5,000. If something else is 2,500, like.
And it comes with requirements. Right. I think you're going to have to spend 15 hours of whatever educational learning, whatever. But I look at it like this is. I'm a business owner. I'm busy. I may sometimes I don't have time to do everything, but ain't nothing for free.
Right.
It's nowhere on the planet. Well, it is some places on the planet. Ain't many on the planet where you can work 15 hours and get $10,000.
Right.
All right. So
but I want to apply.
Well, let's.
Go ahead.
So. Just dovetailing off what we're saying, right? For existing brick and mortars, you have $10,000. Existing family childcares, $10,000. Existing home-based businesses, $5,000. Existing shared commercial spaces, $5,000, and early stage startups, $2,500.
Shared commercial spaces. That means every barber in your shop need a file. That's the game.
Listen,
everybody got a chair, need the file.
Everybody
got a chair. Every beautician need the file. You're the owner, write a lease. Let's go. Let's get this money now.
Can not that kind of grandma get a grant?
You keeping your kids at the house. Let's work something out.
But
it's for startups. So if you have an idea,
you could get 25. It comes
with doing a business plan
and doing your startup.
And from my understanding, it's not a one-time thing. They're going to keep recycling this grant.
Okay.
So if you don't catch this one, you can catch the next one. But
because they're going to be funded,
they're going to be 4 rounds. It's going to be 4 rounds,
and they're funding up to 45. Didn't it say 45?
45.
Well, you have $1.35 million that are going to be distributed over 4 rounds. So. And they have cohorts of businesses. Yes, it'd be up to 45 business days to complete the assignment, capacity building curriculum, which may require 15 hours of attendance and/or engagement. That means you have to be in a classroom, probably. You're probably going to have to get supervised, probably as far as getting the education, 15 hours. And that's not much.
Sharonda,
that's not much for the investment, for the capital investment that you're getting.
Sharonda just said, "Get with me. I do business plans."
It's people everywhere around here to help you. So exactly, I ain't trying to do it all. Thank you, Sharonda. Most importantly, get your documents together, y'all. We got the Monday. Be ready to push the button Monday.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And remember that this skills bank, because guys, we're putting people together.
Yes, Blue, that is your business. Let's go.
Remember that this skills bank is being brought to you by the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club.
Absolutely.
So don't forget that. Now we're doing the work.
So here we go. This is community radio, and this is community doing community work, right?
Right on.
So this is us looking out for us. So Jab actually went live and put it out there as they was doing the press conference, right? To do it. We're talking about it here at the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club, and people are offering their services so that we can thrive as a community. I don't want nobody in the complaint line talking about what they coulda, shoulda, and why they did not. If you did not apply, or if you did not reach out to somebody who offered out the services to help you to make sure that all your I's was dotted and your T's was crossed.
This is an opportunity to expand your gangster. This is your opportunity to take your gangster from one
smart
level.
Is the new gangster.
That's it. Let's expand it out, brothers and sisters.
And part of that is knowing that you cannot do it all by yourself, and that you need a team. And that even me and Brother Donnie was sitting up here reading something. He read something, and we read the same article. I pulled something else out of the article that he didn't even see. You know what I mean? So two eyes.
It's done to the Bible all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
So I'm just going to tell you, let's get this money. Let's get these businesses off.
And most importantly, let's not sit around and act like we don't see what's happening. My biggest fear, and I always repeat it, is that we will be in the Flintstones as St. Pete goes to the Jetsons. And we're going to the Jetsons, y'all. I wasn't even going to the press conference. I was going to the greenhouse anyway when I got the call. It was on my calendar. You know what I mean? And I got to go back because I couldn't get what I needed because they had the press conference. So, you know what I mean? So, what I'm saying is to say is be diligent in what you're doing. Like we're in businesses and your ideas. This is the time to manifest an idea and get funding for it. Who knows? Look around you. And I'm the type of person, I want to see 10 millionaires in my circle. That's just me.
So you see what was it? You see, bro. You see? Come on now.
Exactly.
Come on now. Both our calendars, both our inboxes, bro. Because that's what mines do.
That's real.
That's what mines do.
Right. So listen, let's get this money. Let's do it. If you don't get it this round, because it's 4 rounds.
Oh, I had that thing so streamlined.
So don't be discouraged, but definitely still apply. Right on. You got 4 times to get it, right? I don't know if you can probably get it each round. Did they say that?
And I'm not trying to be greedy, but I'm going to I have a lot of ideas.
Me too.
So I'm going to manifest an idea on each round. I'm not going to play with it because if y'all going to give me the opportunity to start a food truck, realistically, ain't too many people around here serving food that can really deal with me in the kitchen. So for them to get me
I'm coming at you, bro. I'm coming at you.
See, that's the thing about it. That's great for you to say that, but in the proof of let's go to Lakewood. It ain't too many people that can feed 2,000 people in the stands in 2 hours.
And it be consistent.
And it's consistent. This is the skill set. I can feed that whole stands. Now everybody up there go eat something.
I'm gonna tell you this. What I love about the men in my circle, right? They are no short of confidence. Right?
All us.
I'm gonna tell you, every man that I got a lot of men. I'm a girl with a whole bunch of brothers, right? Real and unreal, right? But all of them are my brothers, right? And I'm going to tell you, none of them is short of confidence. And I love it because when you walk in, Confidence sells when nothing else. You know, if you believe, nobody else is going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself.
That's the truth.
Right?
That's the truth.
And so I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't know if we haven't asked Qiana. Do you have a question?
No, I don't.
Do you have an Ask
See,
Qiana?
when I think about Ask Qiana, I be, I don't really have a relationship with my wife. I don't be in other people's business. So
it don't always got to be relationship.
We good. We straight. We argue now. Good arguments. Like, leave me alone. Bro. See, I think I learned in a relationship when you can sit on the couch and argue and not get mad. I think we going somewhere.
I like you know what? No. You're right. Like when you get like
if she get hers off, I get mine off.
I done been to the point sometimes you could be arguing, hang up the phone, boop, and then pick up. So yeah, did you did you? Can you go get the dog something to eat? Like we just got in the big blown out. Yeah. But then all of a sudden, the next phone call, I need you to go down there and put gas in the car. All right.
Yeah,
hello, caller. Go ahead.
I just got one
brother,
question. Just ask him, have he ask him, I'm going to come in there, tell Jab, I'm going to do that. Ask him, have he ever forgave anybody?
Have you ever forgave anybody? That's for you, from Yubi.
I don't think I have the power to forgive.
You have to.
No, I don't. I don't think I have the power to forgive.
He don't think he has the power.
I don't have the power to
forgive. What did
you say? So your wife ain't never did nothing that made you mad that you forgave her?
Not even God can change the past. I want you to really think about that. That's when I found that out is when I became a lover of history, because not even God can change the past.
No, and that's right.
With that being the case, I don't think human beings have the power to forgive. I think we have the power to move on. I think we have the power to get over things, but I don't think we can forgive. Now, I have done this, and this is something that Maya Angelou spoke about before she passed. She says, I don't necessarily believe in forgiveness, but I believe in give-forness. So they say, what do you mean? She said, when somebody does something, let's say somebody hurts me or harms me or does something to me, she says, for that, I just take something and give to someone else. She says, instead of forgiveness, it's called give-forness. So she said, let's say somebody cut me off in traffic. You might be getting a whole bag of potatoes. And you might not know why you're getting that bag of potatoes, but it's not forgiveness, it's give-forness. I don't believe in redemption. I believe in repair. I think that you should fix things that you break. I don't think that you can somehow be redeemed for the things that
but
you break.
If you fix something that's broken, then and you redo it, that is kind of like a forgiveness. Well, but you know what? Tomatoes.
Well, I'm going to say this because
that's what
I'm going to tell you, I don't forgive him.
Jab, just say he don't forgive you.
Until he come in this studio.
Until you come to the studio and Jab,
I withhold my forgiveness because I'm tired of you calling from the rafters like.
Yubi, that means you'll be coming in tomorrow. All right, Yubi, I'm hanging up.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, so we do have an Ask Qiana run it.
Okay.
Why they send this one to me? I don't know. But hey, I got it.
Go ahead.
Ask Qiana. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm yelling like Jabbar. If you go through your significant other's phone and don't find anything incriminating, would you tell them why or why not?
Okay.
So basically, when you take the phone and hold it up over his face while he's sleeping and open it, you go tell him?
First of all, you shouldn't be going through other people's property. But I will tell you this: if you do, some stuff need to go to the grave with you. I know it doesn't sound right, but it is what it is. And if you didn't find any information, there's nothing to tell anyway, right?
That's why Brother Donnie don't be forgiving y'all sometimes. This is exactly why. This is the foolishness that be going on right here, man. This is why. I ain't fine. You're not gonna give us the congratulations, but you showing us go wake us up with we need to talk.
Well, I will tell you this.
You should have brought some balloons. What the hell?
So wait, Shayna say, go through the phone, you already know. Brother John is laughing. I mean, honestly, I don't think I have been through a phone before, right? It ain't. I have, right? I have. It's not in my past. In my past. Let me throw that out there. In my past.
Yeah, you can't just go through that. Were you invited to go through a phone, or did you burglarize that man?
Tomatoes.
Ooh, yeah, you burglarized somebody.
You broke into somebody's
phone. If I already have the code, it's just like if I have the key to the front door, it's not breaking in.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
If you have the code, it's not breaking in.
So
it's a free invitation.
Did you find incriminating information?
I might have.
Didn't one act on it, because that's the other flip coin of this. If you looking, if you ain't gonna act on what you find, what you looking for?
So this is the thing is sometimes I'm gonna agree with Qiana. If you're going cat burglar, I'm gonna agree with Qiana is that, and this was in my younger days. If you're going through that, then I think there's something telling you something. But I am one of the people. If you go looking for something, you can find it. If you already have something in your mind and you're set up, anything you look at will be incriminating. Almost, you can see a text message from their mama, and it'll be incriminating. You know what I mean?
But some women just be unrealistic, man. Listen. Dude left here last night at 8:00. He just got back here 7:30 this morning. You know to look through his phone. Stop acting dumb. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, oh, I'm gonna look through his phone. You already know what the heck going on. He wasn't here when you was asleep.
Right. You said if he weren't here when you was asleep,
when you fed in the bed, he wasn't there. You know what was going on.
If he's not on the side of the bed with you, he's on somebody's bed. Or she's in somebody, especially if y'all live together.
He at the trap. He at the studio.
Yeah, you know. But some people are okay. So being in the music industry, some people are really at the studio.
Yes, that is true.
That is. But I'm gonna tell you, if they're at the studio at night, then they will find themselves back in bed all day in the right bed.
Man, listen.
I'm just saying, if you working through, listen, if your job is at night, you sleep during the day.
That's true.
Right? So if you're working at night and you're not back at home during the day, you're still finding somewhere else to sleep.
That's true. But she said he got a burner phone. Y'all going too hard. Like, it's too much energy into this. Like I gotta have a whole nother phone. You know what? Yes, Sharonda, I'm in denial. Because it was one time that I did have the burner phone in the car. I think about 2099, back when they had Nextel.
Oh man, go to the store and get the minutes. Go to the store and get the
revelations right.
Go to the store and get the minutes.
I'm just saying. So I mean, honestly, so the brother's saying, but then okay, throw it back to you. You find out your girl went through your phone, cat burglar. Right, boom, and she give you flowers for not doing anything. Or what is your reaction?
I feel like it should be like Valentine's Day.
You not mad because you don't feel violated.
You should lay me in a bed of roses.
Draw you a bath.
So wait, you're not. So you're not mad. You know what I
did for you.
So you don't feel.
I don't care about that.
Because I'm gonna tell you, to be honest, you could go through my phone. Like I don't have nothing to hide, right? And honestly, if you go through my phone and you go over there, I'm like y'all, yeah. Shut up about anything negative, because I don't want to hear it. You better, massage my feet. Take me to the massage parlor.
Draw you a bath.
Draw me the bath. Y'all, listen, put my favorite Epsom salt or, my salt beads in there.
Exactly.
Get my favorite scrub. I like to smell like pineapples and peaches.
So you should have did all of this for him. Women, y'all listening, when you go through the man phone, you don't find nothing. Scrubbing with peaches.
Cook his favorite meal.
Scrub.
Peach cobbler.
So then you would say, where is a personal space? So this is another thing. So after you get all of that, you don't feel violated? After you get all of that and you don't feel like some type of invasion of privacy?
I'm married. I don't care about this phone. Like, me and my wife had to put locks on our phone in case they got stolen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we didn't lock our phones. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, like, somebody else, it might be a big deal, but like, I do believe that if she's feeling froggy and she jump and she don't find nothing, yes, peach cobbler me. Because women feel like, oh, your patterns ain't right. When the patterns ain't right, peach cobbler, man, get them together.
All right, so here we got 1 minute. Final thoughts, Brother Dunn.
Final thoughts are gonna always be the same thing. Expand your gangster. Take this thing from one level to the next. If you're still on the same level that you were on 10 years ago, you've lost 10 years. Don't see things the same.
My final thought is, I've been reading articles from different millionaires, and the word that I got that comes out from all of these people that they keep repeating is consistency.
Be consistent. So we're all pretty consistent. Be the change you want to be or see. Right? Write down those 5 things. Everybody's saying peach cobbler them. I'm trying to tell you. That's real, man. See y'all Friday and He Say, She Say. 31 grand tonight. Be there or be square. This is
with Domino Davis.
Domino Davis. I was hoping that made him call in. That was supposed to make him call in.
He's probably working.
Damien, Domino. Well, we're going to change it to Domino. Okay, so here, this is Qiana.
It's Then Let You Gangster, your brother Donnie.
And this King Jab.
And this has been the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club.
See you Freestyle Friday, y'all.
Yeah.
Do you or someone you know have immigration or family law questions? Or do you just want to keep abreast of the latest changes in these areas? Then tune in every first and third Wednesday at 6:30 p.m.